Welcome to New York City, a place where history is carved in stone, steel, and glass. From its humble beginnings as a Dutch settlement to the glittering towers of the 21st century, New York's skyline is a living timeline of architectural innovation, cultural identity, and social change. In this video, we take a journey through 400 years of design, from cobblestone streets to modern marvels. This is the architectural story of the city that never sleeps. Colonial roots, 1600s to early 1700s. Our story begins in 1624, when Dutch settlers established a trading post at the southern tip of Manhattan. The architecture of New Amsterdam, as it was then known, was defined by necessity. Homes were built with field stone, brick, and wood, using traditional Dutch techniques with steeply pitched roofs and prominent chimneys. One of the best surviving examples of this period is the Pieter Clessen Wyckoff House in Brooklyn, now a museum and a National Historic Landmark. After the British took control in 1664, New Amsterdam became New York, and British influences quickly took over the architectural language. By the early 1700s, Georgian style had become prominent, characterized by symmetry, proportion, and classical detailing. Churches and civic buildings mirrored the ideals of order and stability from across the Atlantic. France's Tavern, built in 1719, is a great example, and it played a key role during the American Revolution. Early Republic and the rise of Classicism, 1776 to 1825. Following the American Revolution, New York became the new nation's first capital. This era saw a shift towards architectural expressions of democracy and Republican ideals. The federal style became the dominant form, marked by simpler lines, fan-shaped windows, and restrained ornamentation. As the young country looked to ancient Greece for inspiration, Greek revival began to dominate. Columns, pediments, and symmetrical facades became the standard for banks, townhouses, and even churches. Notable examples from this period include the Gracie Mansion and St. Mark's Church in the Bowery. These structures conveyed a sense of civic pride and national identity. The Industrial Revolution and Cast Iron Architecture, 1825 to 1880. The arrival of the Industrial Revolution transformed New York City from a seaport into a bustling industrial hub. With mass production and new technologies, architecture became more ornate and more efficient. Nowhere is this more evident than in the cast iron buildings of Soho. These prefabricated facades were affordable, decorative, and easy to assemble. Between 1850 and 1880, Soho became a showroom of cast iron facades, often mimicking classical stone buildings with intricate Corinthian columns and elaborate cornices. Architects like James Bogardus pioneered this movement, making New York a leader in industrial age innovation. Meanwhile, large civic buildings adopted the Romanesque Revival and Italianate styles. Grand Central Depot, 1871, the precursor to today's Grand Central Terminal, was one of the marvels of this era. These structures signaled the city's rising importance on a global stage. Gilded Age Grandeur, 1880 to 1910. The Gilded Age was a time of immense wealth, and the architecture reflected that opulence. Influenced by European palaces and Parisian design, the Beaux-Arts style emerged as the aesthetic of choice for the elite. Fifth Avenue became lined with mansions, architectural statements of affluence and power. Institutions like the New York Public Library and the Metropolitan Museum of Art featured sculpted stone facades, massive columns, and domed ceilings. Architects trained at the École des Beaux-Arts in Paris brought grandeur and formality to the city's most important landmarks. One standout residential building from this era is the Dakota, built in 1884, a luxurious apartment building that set the stage for vertical urban living. The birth of the skyscraper, 1890 to 1930. As the 20th century approached, New York's ambition reached new heights, literally. With the invention of the steel frame and the elevator, a new building typology emerged, the skyscraper. The Flatiron Building, completed in 1902, captured the public's imagination with its triangular form. Soon after, the Woolworth Building, the Cathedral of Commerce, soared to 792 feet, becoming the tallest building in the world in 1913. The Chrysler Building and the Empire State Building, built during the roaring 1920s and the early years of the Great Depression, are masterworks of Art Deco. With sleek lines, decorative motifs, and metallic spires, these skyscrapers didn't just reach the sky, they told stories of American power, speed, and elegance. Architects like William Van Allen and Shreve, Lamb and Harmon shaped this era of vertical expression. The skyline became a symbol of modernity and limitless potential. The Modernist Revolution and Urban Renewal, 1930 to 1970. By the mid-20th century, modernist ideals reshaped architecture. Function trumped form, and minimalism became the guiding principle. The international style, imported from Europe, found a home in New York's corporate towers. The Seagram Building, completed in 1958 by Mies van der Rohe and Philip Johnson, is a prime example, a glass and steel box that emphasized proportion, structure, and transparency. During this time, urban renewal dramatically altered New York's landscape. Robert Moses, the city's powerful planner, led efforts to clear blighted neighborhoods to make way for expressways and high-rise public housing. While these projects modernized the city, they also displaced thousands and destroyed historic communities. Postmodernism and reclaiming identity, 1970 to 1990. Postmodernism emerged as a response to the sterility of modernism. Architects began to reintroduce ornament, symbolism, and historical references. The Attent Building, now 550 Madison Avenue, became famous for its Chippendale top and playful classical features. This era also saw the founding of the Landmarks Preservation Commission in 1965, which helped save Grand Central Terminal and other treasured sites from demolition. New Yorkers began to recognize that their past, embedded in brick and stone, was worth preserving. 9/11 and the rebirth of Lower Manhattan, 2001 to 2014. The events of September 11, 2001, forever changed the city and its skyline. The loss of the Twin Towers was not just architectural but deeply emotional. In their place, a new vision arose, one that honored memory while embracing the future. One World Trade Center, completed in 2014, stands 1,776 feet tall, a symbolic reference to American independence. Designed by David Childs of Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill, it is both a fortress and a beacon. Nearby, the 9/11 Memorial and Museum, and Santiago Calatrava's Oculus, offer spaces of remembrance and reflection. Contemporary Architecture and the City of the Future, 2010-present. In recent years, New York has entered a new age of architecture, one driven by sustainability, global design, and technology. Hudson Yards, the largest private real estate development in American history, features cutting-edge towers, the Shed Cultural Center, and the controversial Vessel. Across the city, starchitects have left their mark. Zaha Hadid's curvilinear condos, Bark Ingles' pyramid-shaped Via 57 West, and Jean Nouvel's angular skyscrapers are reshaping the skyline. The High Line, a converted elevated railway, represents a shift toward green urbanism, transforming industrial infrastructure into beloved public space. New Yorkers now expect their buildings to serve the community, conserve energy, and connect the past to the future.